Long Neck Johnson.
What is good, brothers?
Oh
What's up,
my God.
How we doing
hold
tonight,
on.
boys?
Look at this awesome overlay.
Yes, this
in
is
our Omen monitors, dude.
this is presented by Omen Johnson. Yo, thank you for joining us. I gotta start it off. First off, how you doing? How you doing? We're not gonna start off yet.
I'm doing good, man. As you guys just talked about, we're in quite the conundrum, man. A 4-team tie right now with Thieves being 5 points ahead, and going into a LAN, obviously wins at some point can get to 15 points. So it's gonna get crazy, man. So just looking forward to the next week.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And I gotta say,
You look like you've been chilling with Ghosty.
in terms of stash game, that's up there.
We had some drinks earlier.
Did you?
Yeah, we went and got some barbecue today.
Oh, how
got
was
some
it?
drinks.
I saw Tej's tweet about where's the best barbecue in Charlotte.
Dude, Tej was getting pounds of brisket just brought out to him.
He needs to stop.
And then we walked out, and the first thing he does is he looks at me and he goes, "Yo, insomnia?" And I was like,
Are you being dead serious?
yes.
Yo, he doesn't fucking stop.
Oh, dude, he does not stop. He's a vacuum.
Johnson, I gotta give you props, dude. That fucking joke that you made about Vickle and then the dead stare into the camera, bro. I haven't laughed that hard at an interview in maybe ever. Besides like the what about it works for you or the Shotzi one, bro.
Yeah, that was good.
It's gotten so soft. So the backstory, obviously me and Vickle teamed on Florida last year. We're really good friends. So like for us, like it's just like a little joke, But like for the average person watching, it was like, whoa, like, yo, he really meant that. Like he said it with his chest. Like I was staring into the camera with straight deception. Like I don't know. I see why people gravitate towards scrap so much now, because we've kind of lost that element. Obviously when you both played, you kind of know what I mean. I feel like we don't have as much of that anymore. So, I mean, hey, man, I'm down to keep doing it, I guess. So, I mean, fuck it. It would have been a little bit nicer if we beat them, obviously. Losing to them, kind of doesn't look as good, but all good.
I mean, I didn't take it serious. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I mean, holy shit. Well,
it was super on the fly.
Let me start off. Let me start hitting you with some hardball questions. So, with you and Clayster on the same team, talk to us about that dynamic, because both of you guys are very vocal, very leader-like players. How do you guys kind of bounce off of each other whenever you're going through team talks and discussing what needs to be done on the map?
So me and Clay, we've obviously teamed together a few times already. This is like the third time, I think. So we're just like pretty good at like, passing back and forth the flame. Obviously, there's going to be times where, like, maybe we bump heads or something, but we have pretty good communication skills. We usually can hash it out, talk it out, and kind of come to a resolution or, get on the same page. So just a lot of reps together, a lot of experience together, and just kind of, obviously, we're really good friends outside of the game. So it's just pretty seamless.
Absolutely. And who would you say, if you had to, who was the more vocal out of the two of you guys?
Probably me. What I do want to give a huge shout out to is Tej. Like, a lot of people will obviously think Tej is maybe a little bit quieter that have teamed with him in the past, or maybe just like certain stigmas. But like, at least on this specific team, he's like taking a very big role in stepping up in the comms and just being way more vocal on his opinion. And when players that have been playing a while, like change certain things like that, I think it's like kind of impressive, because like those aren't like easy tendencies to really like, completely dissect, pick apart, and get better at. So he's done a really good job at that this year.
Yeah, I personally, I love to hear that, because, I mean, obviously I've teamed with Tej way back in the day at this point. I mean, over probably half a fucking decade ago. But he was always really quiet, and not really quiet. He'd definitely chime in on the team talks, but it surprises me to hear that, he's maturing as a player, and obviously teaming with you and Clay, you guys probably pull it out of him a little bit more, because I feel like you guys involve everyone in those talks. So I'd fucking love to hear that out of Tej, that boy.
No, Tej definitely has carried a stigma for a long time. I mean, even when I play with him on Breach, like, Tej is definitely a lot more vocal now, and I think takes it a lot more serious than he used to. Tej used to be a bit of a lazy bastard, and I actually think he does, like, at least with my experience, you're playing with him currently, he really does want to win, and like does do his best to put his best foot forward to help the team win. Johnson, I want to ask, you guys get a big win against OpTic. What does that do for team morale in the running for champs? Because obviously you're playing against major champs right now, or at least everybody the whole year has been talking about the top 4 being the top 4, and everybody else can't really fuck with them, I guess, is the community outlook on it. Did that one feel special? Like, did that one give you guys a bit more confidence, or?
I mean, maybe as a team, it's good for like just to reaffirm that we can like beat top 4 teams. No doubt, it's good to like see the proof come out. But like obviously, this stage is kind of like the tail for us. Like we've had so many game 5s. I think I'm not 100% sure on this. Maybe it was only 2 of the series. But we go game 5 of FaZe every single time. Usually our series with New York or game 5 every single time. So we know we're right there. We just have to like clean up our decision making individually and as a team, and make sure that like in every situation that we are on the same page. Just make sure our map pool gets better and better by the day, so that depending on what team you play, you have a good matchup no matter what. And just it's champs time. You guys know how it is. You kind of have to shape up everything and like really lock in at this time. Everyone. It was like what you guys were just saying. Everyone at this point is really good. You even LAG this weekend looked lights out. They I think didn't even lose a map.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, no pun intended. But so every team's just playing good right now, man. So it's all going to come down to little things on who qualifies and just who puts in the extra little effort for sure.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about, because obviously everyone knows the preparation's going to get ramped up. It's champs time. Practice hours might go up a little bit. VOD hours might go up a little bit. Talk to me about, obviously, the recent buffs. Now there's 3 trophies in the game. Some of the maps have changed. Like, just talk to me about how all those little things have they thrown your team off a little bit, or was it more seamless and just came more natural to you guys?
So, like, for example, at first we gave Gwinn the trophy at the beginning of this stage, and then after, like, a match or 2, we kind of realized that, like, maybe TJ should have it. So I'm sure other teams kind of went through the same thing, like, kind of figuring out who their 3rd trophy in respawns is going to be. The 4-bullet MCW is huge. These certain power spots that people are playing, like, you're way easier of a rip now. So, like, breaks are going to come a lot more easy, just being able to, like, kind of just, square up with someone and rip them off a heady. On top of that, what else? Oh, the trophies in S&D. So trophies got nerfed down to 2 ticks per projectile now.
Yep.
In the S&Ds, you're still only running 2 trophies, so you're actually losing, 2 ticks.
Yep.
Of tacticals in S&Ds. It's very noticeable on a map like 6 Star, right? People use the smoke to retake bomb sites a lot. Certain maps, it's not as noticeable because you're just using the trophy to kind of get control of something off rip of the round. I mean, even Karachi is big. If you nade stack now and you throw more than 4 tacks on the street and they have 2 trophies, you can break it now. So it definitely changes things a little bit. It's one of those things you have to sit with your team, talk about, kind of re-go over the map, see what you can still do, see what you kind of have to implement, and how you have to adjust. That's kind of the biggest takeaway. Otherwise, these stages, they go really quick. So
was it against you guys on the Karachi? Was it you guys that threw the pre-nades over at Fire Car and killed us because Kenny's trophy was too far back?
Yeah, so I blew my nade up a little bit higher. It probably still would have killed him. Brandon also had marksman on. That's like kind of one of those routes that you can throw that trophy with marksman. If the other team throws the nades a little late,
you're like,
yeah, you're really throwing that.
Yeah,
shit
you're
slow.
tossing that sucker.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure his didn't pop in time as well.
Nah, it didn't.
So that could have been it. But I went and rewatched it because like we called the stack the nades, but like I wasn't expecting a 2-piece out of it. Like maybe they're weak crossing bridge or something. Was kind of like the plan, but I went and rewatched it, and the nade just kind of blew up next to the Balk. So I don't know if it would have even hit the trophies. I don't know if it was because he had marksman, but
maybe they were just money nades.
I mean, yeah, but you know how it is with nades like that. It's 50-50, flip a coin.
Hey, it's nice whenever 2 pop up on the kill feed, though. You're probably like, fuck yeah.
I was screaming, plant the bomb, plant the bomb.
For sure.
For sure.
So we talked a bit about TJ and Clay. Talk to me about Gwinn, man. I feel like Gwinn's kind of like still to the community a bit of like an unknown guy. I heard he only eats Lunchables. I would say for a while he was a lot of people's rookie of the year. He was going crazy. Then I kind of feel like personally he fell off the cliff a little bit, and now he's like back on the upswing. Just talk to me about Gwinn generally, who he is as a teammate, as a player, because I feel like the community would love to know him a bit more.
Gwynn's a little bit more of a quiet kid. He's probably the best free-for-all player I've ever played. He'll sit and warm up in free-for-alls and just actually spawn trap us sometimes and just call us shit. But he's just a really good player, man. He listens really well. He takes in information. He's very smart. I think this is his first year in the league. I think he's throughout the year gotten a lot more vocal. And just kind of like, what's comfortable for him, what he thinks is going wrong, and just expressing yourself to your teammates. I think he's learning a lot better throughout the year. He's great at every game mode across the board. He had like 1 to 2 hiccups this stage in a series, and that I can safely say, since I've joined this team, that's probably the only 2 like mid-series he has had. Like, he's an incredibly consistent player. And as time goes on, he's just gonna be one of those players that just get better and better. But like, yeah, outside the game, I mean, Isaiah likes anime. He likes Call of Duty.
Lunchables?
He loves some Lunchables.
Does he actually eat Lunchables
yeah.
every single day?
So when we go to Target together, I'm not even kidding. Like, he buys them out, man. Like, I saw a little 13-year-old kid walking down the Lunchable aisle last time, and I just saw Gwinn just scoop up 5 packs of Lunchable. I was like, this poor kid, bro. He's not gonna be able to get a single pepperoni Lunchable.
What a fucking beast. Well, but, I gotta ask this one. So you and Clay being on the team, is there that little bit of extra pressure of not making champs? Because both of you guys, very tenured players, even Tej at this point, very tenured players. Clay, I don't think he's ever missed a champs before. So just talk to me about if you guys have had any talks like, we gotta make this shit, or if it's kind of just really focusing on drilling into practice and just setting yourself up, or is there that thought?
I'm a firm believer, man, that if you really go and leave it all out there and do everything in your ability to like help your team get better, to help yourself get better, and just to like make sure you're ready for all your matches for the rest of the year, and just focus on that, and whatever happens, you did everything you could. Like, we're putting everything we have into this. Like, we're watching VODs before, after scrims. We're sitting there talking about the matches and sitting there talking about some maps for like 20-30 minutes just to make sure that certain mistakes don't happen again, whereas I'm sure all these other teams are doing this as well. But it's just gonna, like I said, it's gonna come down to the little things. It's gonna come down to LAN. So I think that's really good for us. I think we've been a great LAN team so far this year. I think that there's no fans. I think that's going to also affect some of these teams. Maybe some of them in a positive way, maybe some of them in a negative way. But nonetheless, it's going to come down to LAN. I'm really confident with our team on LAN. So we're just going to do our best. Obviously, you guys play Boston next week as well, right?
Yeah, we play Boston and Toronto. And I didn't know Clay missed champs last year. I fucking had no idea he missed champs last year.
Oh yeah,
that's my bad.
It was close. They run Vegas. It was kind of. I think they were like going into this part of the year. I think they were like 10 or 15 points behind, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But they were like right there. Yeah.
Well, you actually just set up another great question. How do you think no fans is going to affect your team? I mean, backs against the wall. Fucking. How do you think that's going to affect you guys going into it?
So Carolina, we get a lot of love at events. Going into this team, obviously Clay's on the team, so you're expecting some crowd support, but like, they've been pretty crazy. So, I would definitely say that if there was an event, we would have some sort of an advantage in the sense of the crowd. Now that there isn't a crowd, we may not get that crowd buff, but I don't think it's necessarily going to hurt us in any way. I think I'm a player that can definitely like thrive off the energy. I think Clay's another one, maybe Tej, but like, I think in another sense, whereas it might not be great for us three, I think for Gwinn, him being extra super cozy is going to be even better. Like, he might have a 1.5. Like,
I love to hear that, because we are rooting for you. I DM'd you. I mean, we're really pulling for Carolina out of the other teams.
100%.
We're pulling for Carolina.
Dude, it's been a crazy little mix. This is probably, this is definitely the closest it's ever been, right?
Oh,
right now
it has to be. I mean, it's a 4-way tie between 8 through 11 right now, and then Thieves is like right above that but only because they have that 5-point cushion. So I mean, the major is going to be crazy, man.
And it's so weird, because I feel like how this year is kind of developed. It's like, dude, through the midpoint of the year, the gap from the top 4 to everyone else was kind of nuts. Now it's like, to make champs, everyone's so close, but everyone's getting so fucking good at the same time, and teams are actually improving now. So it's going to be a crazy race. I mean, we wish you nothing but the best, and all the luck in the world, because we got to see Johnson at champs.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, boys. Another thing I want to throw in there is the last stage of every year gets a little it gets a little sketchy in the sense of, okay, yeah, the teams that need to win and make the top 8 obviously need to show up. But in these top 4 teams that are, definitely locked in, they are going to test out their map pools a little bit. They're going to try to round everything out, but that in their matches before champs. So you have these matchups where like certain teams, they probably wouldn't lose to a team on their 3 or 4 best maps. And since we're in the last stage, they're trying to get every single possible practice rep they can for champs. So the last stage of every year kind of gets a little rocky and a little dicey with some of these wins. So, but hey, it makes it more interesting for everyone to watch. That's for sure.
I mean, we're sitting here loving it. Next weekend's going to be crazy. The major's going to be crazy. And then obviously whoever makes champs, it's going to be crazy. Zen, you got anything else for my man?
I've known the guy for 12 years, man. I got nothing else, Johnson.
I've got one, if you guys don't mind.
Riley's got a question. Let's hear it, Riley.
So the community has been wondering, and maybe you've answered this already on Twitter, and I just missed it, but there was a clip where they cut to you, I think it was at the end of the first hardpoint against us, where it looked like you were texting or something on your phone during like the last 5 seconds. Can you confirm or deny whether or not you were sending a text or your controller came unplugged? Because the community is demanding answers.
All right, so first off, I got to preface this by saying the Formula 1 pit crews, those guys have to be the iciest people on the planet. So my controller disconnected, and like it was at the worst time because I knew that you guys were obviously like about to like all break the hill. Like a guy's finding bridge to Bauk, guys hitting their door, and I see controller disconnected. And like I didn't want to check any of my teammates because the score was so close.
Yeah.
So I'm just unplugging it, and like I'm not even kidding. My hand started shaking when I went to plug my controller back in. And then Clay died and is spectating me. He's like, "Why is Tyler not moving?" So Clay sits next to me and he's looking at me. He's like, "Bro, are you good?" And I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good. And then I finally got it plugged back in and I died. But oh my god, yeah, that was. If we would have lost that, I would have been broken. Oh my god, if we would have lost that map 1, I would have been shattered for sure.
Yeah. That would have been tough. That's a hard bounce back mentally too. You're like, fuck that. We had that shit.
The boys like just absolutely costed.
You
like,
might need to get a new wire.
No, I already got one. We're good.
That a boy. Yo, Johnson, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. I mean, yeah, again, just good luck. Good fucking luck for champs, man. We hope to see you there.